I see. But first off, what's got to start with Erling Haaland. How fit is he, and is he available for selection this weekend?
He feels better, but we are training this afternoon and we'll assess in a few hours.
What's the problem, and how difficult a balance is it to, kind of, obviously he's so important to the team, but obviously, like everybody, he needs sort of rest and recuperation as well?
No, we'll see how does he feeling. He's fit, so and after we'll decide.
How difficult does that make your job? 24 hours before a game, not knowing whether one of your...
No, 24 hours, no. I will know it in 2 hours, if he's able to play or not.
Any other sort of injury updates? Obviously, there was Joao and...
No, I think yesterday everyone trained when I was off 2 days ago after the game, training well. So no, so I have to wait the people come back, and after we'll know exactly how they feel.
Obviously, you come into this game sort of in a good position in the table, but his form has just sort of dropped a little, especially away from home. Is that a concern at all?
No. Always we have been really good these years at away. I would say even better at home. But there are periods that maybe you struggle a little bit. The seasons are long. You have ups and downs, but in general we're stable in many things.
And finally, what kind of test are you expecting from Leicester?
As every year, real tough. The best moment of the season we face them. So. But it doesn't matter what happened, the position always is tough for the quality they have, the experienced manager, so tough as usual.
Pep, it was a difficult start to the season for Leicester, and Brendan appeared to be under pressure, but things have improved since then. Is he a coach that you admire?
Especially in the bad moments, how they react. He reacted incredibly well. The club was stable. He knows exactly what he has to do. When everything goes well, it's easy to be manager. The problem is when you handle it not going well, the expectations always there. Leicester, after achieving the past, winning the Premier League, the FA Cups, Community Shields, always been in top. No qualify for the Champions League for just last game when it was in the hands. So when the expectations are high, it's not easy to handle. But you have seen, I think they lost one game in the last 4 or 5, so that means they are back.
Could I ask you about Manuel Akanji as well? He seems to have settled very quickly into the Premier League. Are you surprised at how easily he seems to have adapted to English football?
Yeah, you never know. When a player comes, you never know what's going to happen. But as you say, he adapted really quick and really well. We are delighted about his performance, attitude, locker room. Very smart in terms of many things, many smart guy.
Is there any update on Kyle Walker or Calvin?
They are not ready for Leicester. They are better. I think they are getting better. Calvin especially. But they are out. And after the World Cup, they will not be ready.
Sorry, Pep, I was just going to ask you about Calvin and whether he had any chance of making the World Cup, but it doesn't sound as though that's going to be.
He's apparently what he says to me when I found him in the canteen, on the locker room, or this trip. He came in Dortmund. He feels really well. His mobility in the shoulder is perfect, and he started to train contact with the ball. Or we had to avoid the contact with his mates, but he feels really well. We are surprised how quick is his development.
But if he can't play before the World Cup, then for England, I realise England is not an issue for you, but...
Yes, if he's fit, and I believe he can play, and he's ready, but maybe take a minute, but I don't know right now, so we'll see.
And can I just ask you, if Haaland didn't play, would it be as simple as putting Alvarez in? I know you've got a lot of options, but Alvarez seems to have, like Akanji, has adapted very well to coming into a new league and a newer environment.
Are you saying that Julian didn't adapt like Manu?
Pardon?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. If Julian didn't adapt so quickly...
No, if Haaland is not fit,
yeah.
Is it as easy as saying Alvarez comes in? Because you have a lot of options, but he seems to have adapted like Manuel very, very well.
Yeah, definitely. Normally, if Julian Erling is not ready, Julian is the first option, of course. Of course, going to play him. Yeah, definitely. He can play with false nine, but I think this is not going to happen. I think Julian can drop, and is good dropping and playing, so I think it's going, if Erling is not able, not tomorrow, for the future, Julian is the first option. Yeah.
Hi, Pep. Just on the same note then with Alvarez, how do you view his development? Because everybody marks a striker by goals, of which Haaland has hit the ground better than anyone expected. But Julian has only scored one in the Premier League. So
Yeah, how many minutes he play?
less than Haaland.
Play every game 90 minutes and he will score goals. So maybe not like Erling, but so I don't judge. I know how minutes play. I know how difficult it is when you are not used to play regularly, doing the impact in the game. But since day one, we are really impressed about many things on him. Many things. So no doubt about that.
Stefan Ortega played on Tuesday or Wednesday night in the Dortmund game. Would Ederson return for Leicester?
Yeah.
Hi, Pep. With the World Cup coming so soon now, have you noticed players maybe being a little bit nervous about getting injuries? We've seen in recent weeks players crying when they've got an injury on the pitch, thinking, could be into the World Cup. Have you noticed that sense around the players?
I would say no, because I'm not in the mind of the players. I don't talk on this subject about this subject on them. So, but I'm pretty sure they are one eye are thinking the World Cup. Yeah, unfortunately, many players got injured and they will miss and lose the World Cup. Is a big blow for them. But I don't know. It's just 2-3 weeks before the end, so it's the last effort, and always advise them to be ready in the World Cup, to don't get injured, be focused and play as maximum in the game. When you reduce your attention is when you are at risk.
And how have Kyle and Calvin reacted to their injuries?
Yeah, positive way. So they are optimistic, they are ready. It depends. I don't know. I think they are in touch with Gareth, with the managers for the national team, and maybe they are more info. So I don't know. Hopefully they can get it or be ready to be selected at the end. It's a question of the national team.